paint. So today I have Project Coyote, which is Chris 60 series that we put the V8 in it. But what we're trying to do is now get it prepped for paint. And I just wanted to talk about a few things that we do and a few things that we found. And I mean, what I'm trying to get to is, again, when it comes to paint, I'm no expert. There's a lot of good paint shops in Malaysia. There's different ranges of pricing of paint shops. There's just different ways of people, different brands that people use. There's so much of variation that, and in pricing as well. So in pricing, it shows the variation in all workmanship. But to me, whether you are building coaches and having a roller brush and stuff like that, what priority to me is the prep work. So what took place was the entire sound deadening material. Again, it wasn't as clean as this. Our first stage was to ice blast it out. We did put dry ice and peel out most of it. And then the next stage was, we still had to do it by hand. So that's the thing with paint prep. No matter what fancy equipment you have or whatever you have, it still requires manual labor, and a lot of time goes into it. But overall, with this vehicle, it's relatively in good condition. However, there were spots that were repaired previously that I would say needs to be addressed, mainly because, so things like, say, the sunroof area, I mean, they sealed it well, they put a proper brace in it, but because they didn't treat the bare metal that was it, that's why you see a lot of pitting. There's just a lot, and we're going to sand down until there's no rust left, and then epoxy it. So put a rust inhibitor to it before we even try to think of painting. So this is actually the sunroof housing that we are still leaving it in because it's full metal, and it actually adds a lot of structure to the roof. So this is going to stay in as well. And then there was a part of the floor at the back that was repaired. Unfortunately, when they did the repair, they actually just put a plate over it and sealed it, so we couldn't access the body mount screws and bolts. And these are things that, you make for it to be difficult. Let's say we weren't rebuilding, but all we wanted to do was switch body mounts, and because of such a thing, we wouldn't be able to do so. It would be a lot of cutting and grinding, and on a car that is already been painted. So that's why I say prep work is important, and it's sort of like opening a can of worms. We can be able to start with something like, let's just try to, maybe we can not have to remove everything. We just work on doing part of it, but it never that's the case. As soon as you try scraping off something, and that's when the bottom layer shows itself. So as for the firewall, the factory, I love the factory deadeners, but they were no longer in this vehicle. It was replaced with some form of housing material, which we're now going to change back to a firewall, a material that is rated for the firewall. And all these are available. It is in the market, so there's no excuse on why not to do it correctly anymore. And there will be bits and pieces on the firewall that we would have to repair. As you can see, there are spots that we would have to repair. And the thing with this car was, Chris bought it. He bought it restored, and maybe you can say it was restored in the terms of paint and interior. Unfortunately, we still have to do back both the paint and interior, because it may not have been up to Chris level, and neither was it, honestly, to where we would like a car of that pricing or that caliber to be at. So anyhow, moving forward, there's still after this, we're just going to epoxy prime a lot of the places where it's bare metal already, so we don't have any more rusting. And then we'll start repairing some of the small bits here and there. After that, we would again, a lot of sanding, a lot of block sanding. Do we go down to bare metal? That's a lot of the question. Always we get asked a question. Well, it depends. depending on how many layers of paint was already in the car and how did the layer get put on the car. So in this place, in this particular vehicle, a lot of spots would be going down to bare metal. But for most builds, one place that always goes bare metal would be the bonnet or hood, depending which part of the world you are. So hood or bonnet, that would always go down to bare metal. This is if it's a front engine vehicle, because not alone, for some reason, not alone the heat from inside, it's also just the constant exposure to sun. It's just best to go down to bare metal with that one and start fresh. So for that one, yes. And then for this car, the roof gutter has to be treated as well. That's a typical thing with these older classics. You've got to do the roof gutter, and you can also see where the windshield rubber goes in. There's also a bit that needs to be done. So these are just, the thing with paint is just everything comes down to prep. You know, the spray paint time is like, I think normally it's a day and then it's all done, but it's all the work that leads up to it. So this is how we do it here, and we don't take on a lot of vehicles because we can't. We just don't have the capacity for it. Not all the boys who are skilled enough for it. I myself is still learning. So yeah, I catch you guys on the next one, or maybe when it's a bit more, when there's a bit of paint laid on it, and then I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thank you.